Today we're going to talk about what are we getting with Spencer Rattler at quarterback in this 2019 class, and all that's coming up after the bumper. Bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Today I want to talk about 2019 quarterback and the leader of that 2019 class, Spencer Rattler. If you don't know, Spencer Rattler is the QB commit for the 2019 class out of Phoenix, Arizona. To say nothing of that badass last name of Rattler. So many things we could say about that. Rattle the chains, rattle the defense, rattle Mike Stoops and the scout team, which I hope he does on the regular, provided Mike Stoops is still the defense coordinator by the time Spencer Rattler gets here. But what you see is the kind of quarterback that you're going to have to win at a high level in college football today. And I don't just mean the Big 12 conference where Oklahoma has the conference on lock. It's our conference until further notice. Yes, I know we haven't won every Big 12 championship, but we've won enough of them that they should just rename the conference the Sooner Athletic Conference. Oh wait, that's taken. How about Sooners win everything all the time conference? Because that's also how it is outside of men's basketball, which is a different topic, but we won't go there just now. But I want to get back to Spencer Rattler and what we're getting at quarterback there. And I gotta tell you, in watching the kid's film, I see all the tools. I see a kid that can make all the throws. I see a kid that quite literally should have been sacked for a loss, spun out of it, put his hand on the ground, made a play down the field. These are all traits that you might notice Baker Mayfield had. But Baker Mayfield also was able to do it on a national stage at the University of Oklahoma. High school is high school. Big time college football is big time college football. However, if you're going to bet on a quarterback, he's not a bad quarterback to bet on. But there's several plays where you can see that his offensive line is just overmatched. You can see he should be sacked for a loss. He should be clobbered, to be quite fair. And he spins out of it, runs away from it, makes a play down the field, or more often than not, makes a play with his legs. One of the things that I love to see out of a prep quarterback is the ability to run the zone read. I don't think people understand how hard it is to run that play. We talk a lot about mesh point. We talk a lot about having a feel for what the defense is doing, being able to watch the defensive end, whether he crashes or stays put, whether to hand the ball off to the running back or keep it yourself or pull it out and pass it. Now, if you check the Kyler Murray mixtape, which I'll link above, you'll see Kyler Murray is a master at this, in the same way that Baker Mayfield was a master at this. Many times he pulls the ball out of the gut of the running back and makes a play on a slant route, on a go route, catching the defense napping on the back end. But what you don't see is how hard it is to get a feel for that. When we talk about mesh points, we're talking about pressure, and we're talking about minute, small little bits of pressure for the running back to feel whether or not he should collapse on the ball with his hands, collapse down on the ball, or whether he should keep his arms open and give Kyler Murray or whoever the quarterback is an opportunity to pull that ball out of his stomach and make a play with the ball. Austin Kendall needs to have this in his tool bag as well because it's a big part of Lincoln Riley's offense. It's a big part of being able to play fast in an air raid that incorporates so many run plays the way that we do. Don't forget, Oklahoma runs the ball more than we pass it. However, we can do that because of the threat at quarterback, and that's what we're getting at Spencer Rattler. We're getting a kid who already knows how to run the spread, who feels very comfortable making plays in the middle of the field, feels very comfortable on the run, extremely comfortable improvising, can find his wideouts when they settle down in the holes and zones. We're also getting a quarterback who doesn't mind throwing a stiff arm, man. Like, that was one of the other things that really impressed me about Spencer Rattler's film, is the way that he was willing to get physical with players not only in the secondary, but in the linebacking core as well. You're not getting a guy who necessarily wants to jump out of bounds if he looks like he's going to get tackled. Now, I know that's probably going to get coached out of him when he gets to Oklahoma because so much of the offense is dependent on what the quarterback can do in so many different ways. But still, it's nice to see that kind of zeal is already there at quarterback in a guy who just wants to win football games. I like his footwork best, and I say that because I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is also to just drop back in a spread. To be able to take the appropriate steps and fire off your back foot as opposed to getting happy feet, not getting settled, and making a good, accurate, smooth throw. He's got a quick release too, and I said in the podcast, which you can check out on SoundCloud or iTunes, there's a link in the description below, that I think he's most comparable to Lamar Jackson. Now, I said this because of the Action Jackson persona that Lamar Jackson carries. This is a guy who can outrun anybody on the defense, anybody on the offense most of the time, who takes advantage of one-on-one opportunities, especially if you try to spy him. If you try to spy Lamar Jackson, he sees that as a win because he doesn't believe that a Mike linebacker can keep up with him, and most of the time he's correct. But one of the things you might notice with Rattler, that at least in high school, if you compare Lamar Jackson's tape to Spencer Rattler's tape, is he's a more accurate passer, which is just bonkers when you consider that Lamar Jackson ain't exactly a bad quarterback. He's not as good as some, and he's not getting the kind of admiration and love as a Baker Mayfield, as a Josh Allen, as a Josh Rosen, as a Sam Darnold. But if he could find a system that fits his skill set, Lamar Jackson could do big things in the NFL. Still think he should be playing slot receiver. However, that's what I see most out of Spencer Rattler. Still, there are people that want to classify him as a pro-style quarterback because of what he can do in a pocket setting if you just want him to stay put. What I'm saying is, in Spencer Rattler, we're getting a quarterback who can fit any kind of offensive game plan Lincoln Riley wants to put out there. And I think that's why he's a great guy to have on our commit list, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring as a quarterback to the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, this is the part where I take on the question of people saying, is Tanner Mordecai going to be a better quarterback than Spencer Rattler? Is Spencer Rattler going to be a better quarterback than Tanner Mordecai? And the answer is yes! Enough with that, man. They're not even here yet. And I understand, I'm jazzed about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. And I wouldn't make this video that I'm linking above about what you need to know about Tanner Mordecai. But so much of this is going to shake out in the wash. All right? They're going to battle in spring camp. They're going to battle in fall camp. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's not going to measure up. Both of them are going to have opportunities to play. And as we know, at Oklahoma, even if that's the case, somebody's probably going to end up transferring. It's just the way things are. It's the reason why Abdul Adams is now transferring to Syracuse. It's why Drew Allen, who never got a shot to play quarterback because he really wasn't that good, got to start at Syracuse. That's the kind of athlete that we recruit, commit, and sign to Oklahoma. It's the reason why you can be the best running back in your state and still be the fourth best running back on the Oklahoma Sooners roster. We win either way because both of these kids want to compete for one job, right? It's not like any other position on a football field. There's one of you, right? Only one of you can take the field at one time. Unless they want to do that thing that Lincoln Riley did where he got fancy and put Baker and Kyler on the field at the same time. But those are two once-in-a-generation athletes. However, you could also see that with Tanner and Spencer. I'm saying don't rule it out. I'm saying don't rule anything out. I'm saying let the kids grow up, let them mature, and let them see who dukes it out and wins on a football field. All right, there's a new episode of the Woosaw podcast up. I encourage you to go to SoundCloud, go to iTunes, download it, listen to it, let me know what you think, like it, leave a review on iTunes, and rate it on iTunes. That's it for me. I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.